Good evening, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Legend of Silver Arrow, right here on I almost said Grand Theft Auto. I was just playing Grand Theft Auto, but this is Gran Turismo 3. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. We're gonna run into this thing. Why is it called Legend of Silver Arrow? Like a fucking caveman right above this, and then right below it says it's the Legend of the Silver Arrow. Oh, lost in translation. Pretty good movie, actually. Let's jump into this. So last time we finally decided to take the plunge and spend $1 billion on a CLK 55 and got it absolutely just ripped to shreds. And by that I mean not in the terms of it actually getting torn in half. I mean it's getting like ripped in shreds in the car terms of going to the gym. It now has the power. And so it's good. And we did the test track, and we absolutely killed everybody. I mean, we basically kicked them in the balls, stole their lunch money, stole their lunch, and their girlfriend, and we killed their parents, and now we're living in their very nice house upstate. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We're also wanted for murder, so that's going to be kind of a problem at some point for someone to deal with. But for the time being, not our issue. So, for the next two races, we get to pretty much just kind of, you know, coast our way to victory, and that'll be nice. And having a couple of those will always be a good thing to deal with. And then I think after that, what we will kind of dive into is I think that we'll maybe jump into the Stars and Stripes Cup. And the reason why I want to do that one before I do the Beetle one is because I think that'd be kind of a hilarious one to end on. We're going to end the Beginner Cup with the hardest one, the Beetle Cup. Oh, yeah. Now, the reason why I'm doing that one before I do the Beetle Cup is Stars and Stripes one, I'm just really excited to go out and probably buy a Corvette for that because, I mean, Corvettes are fucking amazing. But the car, I mean, that we'll also be able to use that car in another endurance race that we're going to be diving into very, very soon here. And so, with that, I think that it would be wise for us to go right ahead and buy said car, get it, you know, prepared for the Stars and Stripes Cup, and then be able to, when the time comes, kind of strip it down to its skivvies, you know, minus the tires, and have it ready for a good old-fashioned endurance race. And I think that with that, we should be able to win it pretty easily, because if I recall correctly, I think that the Corvette that I want to use, horsepower-wise, like at the stock level, has a nice chunk. I think it's got like 300 and I want to say it's like 380. Like it's a strong ass car. And if I remember correctly, in the I think it's the Trial Mountain 2-hour. The Trial Mountain 2-hour endurance is the only other like stock ass car endurance race in the game. And with that, I believe that all of the other vehicles that you race against, while all good cars, I believe they all have 276 horsepower. I don't know why that is a number that a very high number of cars hit somehow. Like they're all totally different. I mean, they're different cars. It's like a NSX Type 0. It's an Impreza. It's a Lancer. There's another car that fits into that mold too, but they all have the exact same horsepower. And so as long as you can have a car that has, you know, something higher than that you can control well, you're gonna win. You're just gonna win. That's what it comes down to. So I think that one's gonna be one that we can do really well with in there. Like I thought, I was kind of thinking about, do I want to, you know, really be bold and probably stupid and spend the money and buy a Dodge Viper that I know absolutely would be able to handle it, because that thing's got like 420 or something like that. It's got a ton of horsepower. The only problem is that I know for an absolute piss all over my face fact, I don't know why that would be it, that I cannot control that car effectively for 2 hours straight. There's just no way. There's no way I wouldn't go through Trial Mountain without flipping that car and reversing it like an idiot at least once. That could potentially cause a real issue. So I think that if all goes well, I'll probably be able to do it okay there. So, by the way, I just read about this today, and when I read about it, just... It's another one of these things where I'm so happy that it's happening, and I cannot wait to see how they pull it off. And how that is going to be is... Okay, get an eyeful of this. So, I think it was like about a month and a half or so ago, I want to say. Oh, God, I'm still really full of French toast and orange juice and a ham steak right now. So, remember when I told you guys a little while back about the fact that there's going to be a guy that was awesome enough to take the plunge and he's going to create a super, super gory-ass animated version of Castlevania for Netflix? Well, this same guy in an interview that had to have happened within the last, few days or so, also confirmed that not only is he working on that, but his next thing that he's also going to be working on, I'm assuming at the same time as that, is he's going to make an animated, super, super dark and rated R version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And that is so awesome. Oh my god. Like, I watched a lot of Power Rangers when I was growing up. Like, that was something that was always on TV, like, right when I got home from school. And so I was, like, I'd basically be able to walk in. Oh my god, that was a terrible turn. I forgot that's where that turn was. I'll have to make sure to do a little better there. But I used to be able to basically come home from school, walk through the door, throw my backpack in the very, very, like, late 80s ass, like, magenta armchair that we just had kind of chilling in this one side of the room, turn the TV on and turn it to, I want to say it was like channel 12 back then, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers would come on. I would get there just in time to hear the awesome ass theme song, and so that was great. And the fact that not only is this guy going to make a total animated, dark and violent as hell reboot of this thing, but he's basing it off of the first 3 seasons. And, like, those were good seasons. Like, I love that he's doing it off of, like, the original source material and not doing it from, some other random point in time. I'm super, super down with that. And the fact that this guy just has this frame of mind that he loves these old shows and old games so much that he wants to kind of remake them or, make them in this special image that I think all of us at one point or another have all really wanted to see. Like, everybody knows that, Power Rangers is a really kind of weird, gimmicky, like, obviously insanely corny show, where people are, showing off their weird and hilariously bad kung fu moves. But just like, and I even remember watching it back then and seeing, various reruns over the years, thinking, how much more awesome would this show be if it was, like, super violent, where there was, like, bloodshed and people dying and, like, having the fight scenes be uber gory instead of it just being, like somebody getting kinda kicked at medium power and just sort of falling over backwards and they're dead somehow, and and just everything being so just generally awkward. Like, how great would it be if you could just have people just getting fucking just absolutely ripped to pieces? That's what I want to see. And the fact that this one guy, in like a calendar year essentially, is going to create both that and a Castlevania series is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for this time. I'm assuming it's going to probably also be on Netflix, I would assume. I don't know. So I'll have to go back and maybe get some more information on it, but I am pumped the fuck up. Alright, here we go. So that was nice and easy. That was, I mean, to be expected, I guess, with the way that we just loaded that car up with all the goods. I guess that was probably something that I should have expected out of it. If those races would have been a lot closer, I probably would have been a little bit more concerned for my own driving skills, because let's be honest, that was not the cleanest situation there. I did not make that look very good at all. So, this compressor here, let's take a look at it. It's got 192 horsepower, which, how much horsepower currently does this Mazda Miata have? 244. Interesting. So that's front-wheel drive. Is this thing front-wheel drive? It is. This thing, more than likely, would probably end up being better than... Okay, I'm going to think on this, because I think that if we have to use this for a convertible thing, which I think there's another... I think there's going to be like another like sports car type of challenge later on, that might be a better one to have in our back pocket than the MX-5. But I'll think on that one for a little bit. So, that's pretty cool. Speaking of MX-5s, by the way, I saw a commercial for a new one of those. I did not realize that they were actually still making Miatas. It's funny, though, because they're not calling it the Miata anymore. They're just calling it the Mazda MX-5. I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, huh, they're actually kind of ditching the identity there. Maybe trying to rebrand it a little bit to make it not seem like a car that nobody wants to drive. Okay, so, you know, here's the thing. Would I love to have a Camaro SS in real life? Yeah, probably. Or a Z28? Probably. But the one thing that would keep me from doing it is from when I was growing up, I played a lot of San Francisco Rush. It was, I mean, that's still arguably my favorite driving game series of all time. The car that I hated driving the most, I mean, they had the beginner car, they had, I believe it was the advanced, the expert, and then the extreme. The expert car, one of the skins for the expert car was a Camaro SS, and I absolutely hated that car in that game. And so it like totally ruined the experience for Camaro SSs for me for the rest of my life. It just sucks. I don't know why. I don't really have any other objective reason to hate those outside of that one thing. And that's just the way that it is. So, should I go with the Grand Sport? That looks absolutely gorgeous, by the way. I love the look of a Grand Sport with that nice Admiral blue with the very bold, thick single racing stripe down the middle. I love it. 330 horsepower would definitely be more than enough to be able to take out that endurance challenge. However, I think that not only does the Z06 look better visually, oh my god, look at that thing. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And that Millennium Yellow, paying homage to Bob Ross. He loved that Millennium Yellow. Along with Platinum White, but that's what, you know, he's going with that Speedway instead. So, I think that this is definitely the better choice, no matter how you slice it, because this is 379 horsepower, not to mention it looks way better. So, we're going to go with this one. And the cool thing about this Corvette is from one of my other favorite racing games growing up, Top Gear, which I have played on this channel. My favorite car in the game was the Razor, which was actually just this. And they made it purple, and oh my god, if they had a purple version of this in the game, I would absolutely buy it right the hell away. And I would drive it as such. That car was so much fun in that game. I loved it. It had just enough top-end speed with just barely enough, you know, tire grip that it was still workable, outside of a couple of tracks where it was just a godforsaken nightmare. But, yeah, dude, it was fun. God, I love racing games. I'm having, like, a weird, like, jizz in my pants moment over old racing games. But, hey, what are you gonna do? So we're going to get this thing built up a little bit. I'm going to try to not go too far. One thing I need to make sure that I do is buy racing tires. I got to make sure and do that right away. We're going to get medium ones. I like having that middle ground of life and traction. So we will have that. And then we got to be very selective on the upgrades that we get from this point on. I'm thinking oh god, 75 Magoo. Oh god. Up to 621. Oh man. Okay, we'll definitely take that port polish. That's such a valuable, marginally cheap upgrade to have that usually does a bunch in our favor. And then we'll take this one up to 558. That's most certainly great. 558, and this goes up to what? 658. Okay, that's big. I thought it only went to like 620. I was like, why the hell would you spend so much more money to really not get a giant, you know, a giant thing out of it? So, okay, I think we've effectively spent all the money that we really can at this point. Now that we really look at it, we're down to just the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. that will kind of make us worry about our bankroll for a little bit, because unfortunately, as easy as this little deal is probably going to be, we're only getting 3,500 a pop. And so this is exactly why we're going to be doing an endurance race right after it. That's just what I'm coming out with. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop right here. I know that we only did a couple of races in this one, so we it was not exactly what I wanted as far as content goes, but when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, we're going to jump headlong into these 4 races. We'll probably get 3 of them done, because Super Speedway's a really short track, and we'll be able to knock out probably 3 of those, and then from there, we'll kind of start getting geared up for the endurance race. So until then, my friends, this is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and America, boom, boom. Bye, guys.